Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be discussing on AutoGen. Specifically, we are executing a use case. We are trying to plot the stock price of, or trying to visualize, or trying to compare the stock price of two companies. Okay, so that is the use case that we are trying to achieve using AutoGen. So we have installed the PyAutoGen. Okay, so here we can see that we have a config file. So in the config file we already have two models. Okay, one is GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K and one is GPT 4. So we can add n number of models here, LLM models here, and we can use that based on our use cases. Okay, so let me close this. So we can start writing the code. Let me add few cells. Okay, so first I can import AutoGen. Okay, so once that is done, we can define a config list. The config list, we can say that okay, AutoGen, this will help us to load from JSON. Okay, so here we have a load from JSON. We can mention env file. So this file will be, we need to specify this file name. So let me copy this the path. Okay, let me copy the path and I'm going to paste here. Okay, so this is the environment file. So in the config file, we know that there are multiple models are there. So we need to specify which model we need to use for this config file. For that, there is a property called filter dict. Okay, here I can mention a dictionary. Here I can mention a model. So I can send it as a list of arrays. Okay. So let me copy the model from here. So we are going to use this particular model. Okay. So I'm going to copy and going to paste here. Similarly, I can create n number of config files with different models. Okay. So for the time being, we are concentrating only one model. Okay. So here I can mention LLM config. So in LLM config, we can mention the temperature. Temperature can be 0. We will set it as 0. And here we can mention the seed. Seed can be 1. Seed, as is mentioned, like seed we will be using for the kind of a caching mechanism. Okay. Now to avoid the infinite loop, we can set the timeout as 200. Then I can mention the config list. Can mention the config list as config list. Okay, now let me execute this. Okay, it says, okay, so we have to send in double quotes. Let me execute. Okay, now we can create a assistant. It's very simple. We can do a AutoGen dot assistant agent. So we can mention a name. We can mention assistant. Here I can message a system message, but for the time being, make it simple. So I am only passing the LLM config here. Okay. So we have our assistant. Now we can have our proxy, our user proxy. So user proxies act on behalf of a user. So here we have few parameters. I mean user AutoGen dot user proxy agent. Okay, here we can mention the name. So name, maybe I can set as user proxy. Okay, I can set a system message here. So this is not mandatory, but let me make it a message. So usually this will be long, okay, and I can set the input, human input mode. So in this scenario I will make it a terminate. Okay, so the human input mode says at what stage human has to interact with the application. So here we selected terminate. That means we only, or user only, need to interact with the application when this particular task is done. Okay, so whenever this particular assistant completes its job, it will send a terminate signal. Okay, so once the proxy user receives that signal, okay, then it will wait for the user input. Okay, and there are different values are there. One is never, so in that case it will never ask for user feedback, and another is like intermediate, or I mean always. Okay, so in that case intermediate is nothing like that. Okay, that is a mistake from my side. We have only three modes are there. One is terminate, and other one is always, and other one is never. Okay, in always it will always ask for the user feedback. Whenever the assistant agent will do something, it will ask for the human feedback. Okay, and now the agent, this user proxy, has to know the terminations happened or not, right? So for that it need to check the message from the assistant agent. For that it will execute a lambda function. Here it will check from the content, it will check is there or not, R step. So this will check terminate is there or not. Okay, then maybe we can set a max auto reply. I can set it as a 3. Okay, so this will actually avoid the infinite loop or infinite discussions between the user proxy and the assistant agent. Okay, so this will maximum interactions will be 3. Now another setting is code execution config. Here I can set a work directory. So this will help the user proxy to save something in a particular folder. One is user proxy, I can set it as a program. Okay, this is my folder name. So another is use Docker. So AutoGen can be installed using Docker also. So here we are not using that. So we will set it as a false. So we are done with the user proxy. Okay. Now we can do start executing. So the execution can be, we can run using user proxy dot initiate chat. I can mention the assistant, then the message. Okay, so the message will be write a program that will check the current date and will compare year to date again for Meta and Tesla. Okay, so this is the command that we can run. So here user proxy sends a message to the assistant. So here we can see the user proxy to assistant. Write a program that will check the current date and will compare year to date gain from Meta and Tesla. So assistant will receive that and it will do the necessary actions. So we can wait for some time. Okay, this will take some time. I think we have to be patient. Okay, so it is showing some errors, port error, all those. So now in video, let me refresh this. So here we can see, now here we can see a file called compare year to date gain.py. So execution is in progress. Okay. So here they are mentioning some say execution error. Okay. Okay. Again, the communication is in progress between assistant agent. Here we can see a message. If you notice, we can see that okay, Meta has higher year-to-date gain 15.2% compared to Tesla 10.8 by 2024-01-14. Okay, now the assistant is terminated. Now it is asking for the feedback. Okay, now we can ask that plot a chart of their stock price, change YTD and save to stock price.png. Okay, so now I am asking to save the result as a PNG file. Now we can see what is happening. Okay, here user proxy is communicating with the assistant. Okay, so this is the message that we have sent. Plot a chart of their stock price and change not LTD, it should be YTD. Okay, I'm not sure that will make any or it will correct automatically. I'm not sure. We can see that. Okay. So it is actually executing the matplotlib commands here. You can see all those things. Let me refresh this in between. Okay, see here we can see they have created a stock price.png. We can see that. Okay, so it's actually plot nicely how this works. Okay,
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
okay, that is okay. So now let me do exit. Okay, so I believe this is clear. I have tried to explain like each step by step execution of this program. Okay, so that is all about in this video. So I will upload this to my GitHub. So please do like and subscribe and ask if you have any questions. Please put that into comment. I will try to answer that. Okay. So thank you very much for watching my video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.